Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Motown's Wrestling Review. I am your host, Tony Motown Allen, and in the words of Randy Orton, the Viper, Daddy's back! And we're coming to you today with a review of Raw and SmackDown. As you know, I am the president of the Motown's Wrestling Group on Facebook. If you're not part of the Motown's Wrestling Group on Facebook, make sure you join. And we have myself as the president of the Motown's Wrestling Group, and I also have my first lady, Ty Nickerson, that runs the ship. She holds it down. So make sure you join. It is the best goddamn wrestling group on Facebook. I know there's 50 million of them out there, but you need to be part of the Motown's Wrestling Group. Not only because of myself and Ty, but we have some of the most knowledgeable and some of the best wrestling fans out there. And a decent amount of them I actually know and everything else. That's how the group actually started, was actually with real fans that we discuss wrestling with. So make sure you join the group. But right now we're going to review Raw and SmackDown. I'm doing two reviews of one. I'm kind of going to tweak some things up and everything. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The viewership, the numbers of views haven't been quite where I want them. And we're going to see. We're going to play this up through WrestleMania though, and everything. Though. So after WrestleMania, I'm kind of going to see if we're going to keep doing it or not. But I'm hoping that we could pick up some views, because if we don't pick up views, I might just go ahead and 86 it after Mania. But we'll see, though. We'll definitely see. All right, for matches and stuff on Monday Night Raw, we had Gunther taking on Dragon Lee. I gave the match a B+. It was a pretty decent match, but at the end, Gunther made Dragon Lee tap out like a little John Cena. Then we had the OG El Grande Americano taking on the Timu El Grande, whatever the fuck his name was. I gave the match a C-. It was okay. I think I would have rather seen him take on the Ludwig Kaiser version of El Grande Americano. But the OG Americano won with a German suplex for the pin. And then later on we had Jimmy Uso taking on Austin Theory. Uso won by DQ. The division definitely got involved with this. Jey Uso comes out, and keep in mind, on Friday night, we seen Jey Uso laid out. He couldn't compete on the Elimination Chamber on Saturday, and then on Monday, he's out there like nothing's wrong. He had crutches, but the crutches was a fucking weapon, not fucking helping him in any way. But that match I gave a C-. It was what it was. And we had Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta, and this ended with Penta winning the match and the title. I gave this match an A-. This was the match of the night. Penta wins his IC title, and we had a little drama in there because Dominic was asking for help. I mean, he never said he wanted to do this shit on his own, but Finn was telling JD, don't help him. He needs to do this on his own. That's what Dom wanted. No, that ain't what Dom wanted, so we see the breakup of the Judgment Day coming, but this was a really good match, though. Dirty Dom, I mean, you guys can sleep on him on his in-ring abilities. Don't sleep on Dirty Dom Mysterio at all. And Penta is a phenomenal wrestler, a former Lucha Underground champion. Penta Dark. Fucking, he was mentored by Vampiro. Great match. Match of the night, I gave it an A-. And then the Division kicked off Raw. So the Division was out there in the ring, basically upset with the Masked Man, Seth Rollins, returning. We had a couple of Masked Men come out, and each member of the Division chased out each member of the Masked Man, and Paul Heyman knew where this was going. Paul Heyman see a Masked Man at ringside, thinking of Seth Rollins, but it wasn't Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was actually behind him in a mask. Seth Rollins did the stomp. Paul Heyman had what looked like was ketchup, but was bleeding and everything, put into an ambulance. The ambulance driving by LA Knight. We probably won't see Paul Heyman until Brock Lesnar's next appearance. But that's how that shit ended. And then we had a promo with your favorite wrestler, AJ Lee, out there talking about how she's going to be a fighting champion and defending the title and everything. Also, basically, the women are lining up to challenge AJ Lee. I am kind of looking forward to her defending this title from now throughout leading up to Mania. I'm not sure if we actually going to get title defenses or how this is going to play out, but we could get a few matches with AJ Lee and some of the talent in the women's division. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And anytime AJ skips her ass out there, I am happy because I will put it on her like that. And then we have what was essentially was the main event. It was CM Punk and Roman Reigns facing off. The night 2 main event for WrestleMania. And they got personal. Jesus Christ. Roman Reigns told Phil how the only reason they brought Phil back was to sell some fucking merchandise, to sell some tickets in Chicago. He was never meant to be the world champion. He just dared to fucking sell some tickets, sell some merch, and call it a fucking day. Talked about how he was going to bury Phil at WrestleMania, and Phil said, "No, I'm going to bury you next to your daddy." Like, shots fucking fired. Roman Reigns' dad died. It hasn't even been 2 years since his fucking dad died. I mean, might have been a little early for that shit. But that was, honestly, and it was kind of crazy because I think everybody in Indianapolis was kind of like, just sitting there like, did we just hear that? So, I honestly got to give this promo the moment of the night. I thought they did really, really good. They made it personal. And I like when they get personal, because when they get personal, they kind of blur the lines between, basically blur the lines between, like, real and fake. They're keeping it real and everything. Like, we know that, we know wrestling is scripted and is predetermined, all that stuff, though. But when you bring that realism to it, definitely good touch. Definitely good touch. And then we move on to SmackDown. We had a U.S. Open Challenge with him himself. Because Carmelo Hayes is him. And he defended his title against Dr. Wagner Jr. from AAA. He has one of the AAA mid-card titles. I forgot which one it was, but he has the title there. I know Ty's going to throw in the comments which title he has. Thank you, Ty. That's why she's the fucking first lady of Motown's wrestling group. But the match itself, I gave a B. Carmelo Hayes win it with nothing but net. Definitely good, definitely a good match and everything. So it's kind of nice to see Dr. Wagner Jr. make his debut on the main roster and everything. So hopefully we get to see more of him. Then we had Julia and Kiana James taking on Charlotte and Alexa. Charlotte and Alexa win with the natural selection for the win. I gave the match a C. It was what it was, to be honest with you. Then we had a tag team gauntlet match, and I'm not a big fan of the gauntlet matches at all, but they love doing this shit to determine the number one contender. You had the Motor City Machine Guns end up losing to Axiom and Frazier. And then you had Axiom and Frazier lose to Los Garza. And then you had the Wyatt family lose with the help of My Family Tree to Los Garza. And then Los Garza took on Damian Priest and R-Truth, and they ended up losing to them. It was a South of Heaven along with an AA for a double pin for Damian Priest and R-Truth to be named the new number one contenders for the tag team title. So I gave that shit a C-. It was what it was. Johnny Gargano had basically his own Open challenge, and Oba Femi came out. And it was kind of funny because I'm watching this match with the mastermind Bobby Rogers, and this had to be the only time that I ever seen Johnny Gargano in the ring, and Bobby had a smile from ear to ear the entire time. It was what it should have been. Oba Femi fucking smashed Johnny Gargano. I gave this an A-. I absolutely enjoyed this, though. I thought it was good for Oba Femi. Johnny Gargano sold his ass off for him. Oba looked like $1 million. Absolutely loved it. Then we had the title match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. And honestly, they were hitting each other's finishers and kicking out of them. So we did have a little false finishes with like all the extra kickouts out of the finishing maneuvers, though. But at the end of the day, though, Cody hit the crossroads on Drew McIntyre to get the 1, 2, 3. And now Cody Rhodes is the new World Heavyweight Champion and will be going on to face Randy Orton for the title. Now, if you watch the Future Focus podcast on Sundays, last Sunday I was on there, and this is the match I wanted. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. one-on-one. Now, Marcus don't think that it's going to be a one-on-one match. I firmly believe it will be. And me and Marcus actually got a $20 bet on it, whether it's going to be like one-on-one or a multi-person match. But the way things were going to Sami Zayn on SmackDown, I think I'm going to owe Marcus some money. Unfortunately, I hate giving away money. And I'll be honest with you, like if I would have seen SmackDown before I made that bet, I wouldn't have ever made it. Because now I think money gone. SmackDown kicked off with a promo with the legend himself, the legend killer. Daddy's back. The 3 most deadly letters in fucking professional wrestling. RKO. And he was interrupted by Trick Williams. You know why? Because we're going to whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. And Trick got whooped. He's talking about his lemon pepper steppers. Randy was looking down on him, then bang! RKO. Actually, it's pretty entertaining segment. I did enjoy this. And then later on, we had a segment between Nia Jax and Lance Legend out there with the tag team titles. And Charlotte and Alexa came out. And then Julia and Kiana James came out, which led to their tag team match. And that was what it was. That segment I could have honestly had done without. And then we had a face-off between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. And I'm actually looking forward to this match at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people thinking that Rhea Ripley is going to take the title from Jade Cargill. I think this is a perfect opportunity to make Jade Cargill a star. If you have Jade Cargill beat Rhea Ripley, beat Mommy at WrestleMania, Mommy beating Jade Cargill does nothing for her, to be honest with you. Like, if she wins, what's the big thing? I mean, this woman beat Charlotte. She's beating the best of the best. She's the top of the food chain in the women's division. So beating Jade Cargill at WrestleMania is not going to elevate Rhea Ripley whatsoever. But if Jade wins, you got an instant superstar in Jade Cargill, though. So I'm really hoping that Jade gets this win. I know I'm in a minority on that, though, but that is something that I'm hoping for. The match of the night, though, was definitely Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, despite the fact that I absolutely love Johnny Gargano versus Hoba Femi. So those are my reviews for the 2 shows for the week. I'll catch you guys next week. I don't think I'm going to do individual shows. I'm probably going to just do it like this again, where I just review both shows at once. And looking forward to WrestleMania season. We're on the road to WrestleMania, guys. So make sure you like the video and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment in there. Get your friends to watch and everything. Let's get these views up. But that's all I have for now. And AJ Lee, Daddy's back. Guys.